What are the issues when you're faced with a client in the healthcare environment that you typically see?
They always think they need more space, but they don't always need more space. Because sometimes their departments are disjointed from growing all over the hospital or wherever they're at, and then the flow is not there, the adjacencies that are required are not there, and so you really have to dig in deeper instead of just handing them more space.
Many times when we come into a project, you can walk into a hospital and see the evolution of the campus. You can see the 80s edition, the 90s edition, the old Hilberton cruciform middle, and your departments sometimes are split amongst those different editions or different areas. So just getting an accounting of what they currently have is the first step in analyzing their space. Then it's a matter of making that space work. They may have all the space they need, but it's just split up. So how can we start to find efficiencies within their current existing footprint? So that's one of the first things that we'll do. So really having a space allocation plan is very important.
I remember I did a study 10 years ago for a client, and they had all these different labs that were, and it was a research facility, and they came in and everybody was like, we need more space. And so I sat down with all the groups and explained, you know, tell me how you work, tell me what your needs are, and then I walked the spaces, which is often called a Gemba walk in the lean world. And I didn't know any of that, but I did what I thought was the right thing to do. And I pointed out all the redundancy that they had, all the waste that they had, and actually did a space analysis for them and showed them that they could reduce their square footage by, it was significant, like 10,000 square feet.
Too often when people are having problems, the first thing they do is say, we need more space.
Yeah.
And it might be true, but what we want to do is do a full-on analysis. Not much different than if you went to a doctor and the doctor came out and prescribed medicine for you. You're like, well, wait a minute, don't you want to do some testing? Don't you want to ask a few more questions? And we find that in the same, we have to take the same approach when we go into a project. A lot of times, like an emergency department might be backing up and they're like, well, we need more space, we need more exam rooms. Well, that might be true, but they also might have a bottleneck in their lab, they might have a bottleneck in their pharmacy, they might not have enough inpatient beds to get the people into, and so any of those could create a bottleneck.
Their pneumatic tube system may not be working properly.
Exactly. So
there's so many challenges.
We could go in there and at $300, $400, $500 a square foot, give them more space, but it's not going to solve their issue.
Right.
Which is in a different department. So that's why you have to be very careful about just taking notes as an architect. You have to go in there and really dig in and do a full diagnostic, not just on that department, but along the whole system.
But even more than notes, you have to listen. You have to see, walk their space, and listen, and understand their challenges.